Hello, my name is José Tomás Torres Vázquez. I have two surnames and two names. So I'm from Chile, I'm from South America. I'm in second year in London Contemporary Dance School. We are doing bachelor rep. So we are learning, quite interesting. And we are rehearsing with Chisato, and is a wonderful teacher. She has an amazing way to share knowledge, just beyond to learn the steps or the choreography. She's really, really enthusiastic about it. Like, you can see the passion behind it. It's really nice. So you are learning more than, I don't know, like the class or learning the steps. You are learning more how do you develop your own interpretation or your own performance of the material, which I think is really nice, because it gives a sense of maturity as a performer. Like, you are not just doing steps or dance moves, like, okay, I have to do this choreography in the perfect time, in the perfect way, which also you have to do that, but how you bring yourself into that, how you present yourself to the audience, how do you show yourself to the audience. I would say that this school, it wouldn't be the same if they don't do the selection that they do. They are really specific and really broad at the same time. I don't know, like, for example, I'm from Chile. I'm from nowhere, like I'm from literally the other corner of the world. And I have classmates from Singapore, from Italy, from England. So you can see, more than learning from the professor or the teachers or the lectures, I'm learning more from my classmates. I'm learning more from their understanding to see the world, their understanding to see dance. So we are all really, really different. I don't know, my background, I studied 3 years in Chile, and then I came here, so I'm a bit older. But I have people who have trained since they've been like 3 years old, so they're, I don't know, there's a completely different approach, and I think that gives a sense of richness to the work, or the process of learning as well. And one of the models that I got inspired in has been site-specific, which is dance in another sites. For example, it can be in the street, it can be outside of the black box, which commonly we understand dance just in the set of the black box. And also I get really inspired by improvisation and also Gaga technique that we have with Chisato. It's a negotiation between what you bring to the table and what the other is bringing you. So it's really, really interesting to learn about movement, spacing, musicality, different approaches of understanding movement. And especially, I don't know, because commonly it says, someone says that dance is like the art of repetition. I don't agree with that. For me, it's like the art of expression of the movement of the body. So in improvisation, we can see that we can express ourselves with our own bodies and with our own movement. So yeah, those two has been like the most inspiring ones. So, back in Chile, I had kind of a training in improvisation, and here I felt that I had like the opportunity to bring that and build up my game a bit more, kind of, yeah. And in second year, you have another course called improvisation, and it's with Rick Nodin, and he starts to bring up the voice as a kind of familiar element that you don't have to be afraid of. So he said, like, okay, we're going to work with movement, but we also were going to work with voice. So don't be like uncomfortable if someone wants to talk, if someone wants to sing, if someone wants to use the voice. Just go with it, because it's part of the improvisation. Don't cut your edges. Try to give more possibilities to your own pathway or your own palette of colors, to different tools that you can apply. He's really nice because it's improvisation into performance, so it's understanding improvisation in a way that you are being looked, you are being watched. So it's not just for yourself, it's not just for your own research. You are creating and composing something for someone else who is looking, or for the group that is happening. So you have to be really aware of, okay, what is happening? Is it working? Is it not working? What can I do in order to make it work? What can I do in order to improve the idea, in order to flourish the idea, kind of. It's a really personal practice, but you have to do it in community. So that's, for example, I'm really interested about that. How can you put yourself alone as an individual, as a subject, in a context where you are creating relationships, intertwining relationships with others, kind of getting to know the other through movement, getting to know the other through speaking, through speech, through improvisation. We say, as I said before, like, oh, we are repeating this phrase, we are repeating what we need to do, like, oh, we have to follow the instructions, we have to do this in a certain manner, in a certain rhythm, in a certain musicality. What do you bring? What can you bring into this performance? What can you bring from yourself into the performance, if that makes sense? We had several teachers, so we have a continuous mark. So we have, for example, José, then we have Rick, and we had Annie Locke as well. So they have a talk about your process, and at the end they say, okay, from this point to this point, how much he has improved, or how much he has been able to open and learn from the others. And they are really, really different teachers, and they have really different approaches to improvisation. So I will say that it's more than assessment, or more like a kind of like a, I don't know, like assess class. We have an observe class, when you can see how you develop these tools that has been given to you through the term. Okay, so Rick is more into improvisation, into performance, so has this approach of understanding like the performance of it, of composing for the other. José is more into contact improvisation, so it's more physical in that way, but also he understands the approach of composing and playing a lot. Annie Locke, I will say that she's really into develop your own language, to really research in your deep thoughts, kind of understanding your comfort zone and getting away from it. So it's kind of almost like a therapeutic way of understanding also improvisation. So it's quite interesting as well, as a performer. So as a performer, how do you move? What do you want to say while you're moving? So it's an interesting question, and I think Annie develops a really good practice in terms of that. What I like about the school that we had different teachers for different modules and different, for example, we have 2 weeks with a teacher, 2 weeks with another teacher. So you have to kind of yourself be open to receive any information, because sometimes you feel down and it's normal, you feel tired, you don't want, I don't know, you don't want to deal with anyone, and sometimes you feel really receptive and it's like, oh my God, this class completely has changed my life, which has happened with me. But I don't know, really depends of your mood, and depends if you get connected with that session, especially with improvisation, which happens at the present moment. If you are connected with the instruction of the teacher, if it really makes sense what we are developing as a group. Also really matters the group. And I feel really lucky, and I think that I have an amazing year group. We are really, really different, and we all fit together in a kind of strange way. Kind of like we all encourage each other to say, okay, let's go. If you feel challenged, okay, let's stand out and let's see if this person can go through it and can improve it even more in different ways, like even in technique, even improvisation, or in different areas, composition, for example, or critical studies, which we have to like kind of read and do more thinking stuff. I would say that we are really, really supportive to each other. It's really, really nice. It's not about the end result, which is kind of like a really cheesy sentence. It's more about the process, more than the end result. That happened with Gaga, actually, because Gaga works a lot with imagination and your own creativity, so it doesn't matter how you dance, it's the reflection of creating new bodies within your body that I found quite beyond interesting. Like, I found it life-changing, really, really life-changing experience. And it's amazing because it's not about the form, or it's not about the structure, or it's not about the way of doing. It's more about what do you feel, or what do you feel when that happens, or how do you feel when something else changes within you. So I don't know how to describe it, but it's really complex. And put yourself into that position in a safe place, which is like a technique or like a class, a Gaga class, I think you can go to really, really different places within your mind and your creativity. You feel free, kind of. You can also feel really prisoner. Everyone has their own meaning and their own understanding of the technique. But for me, Gaga has been like a really, really life-changing experience. It's a new module, which is quite nice because it's almost, again, it's an experiment. And one of the things that I really like the school that is constantly experimenting different things. For example, now we have music and tech, dance and technology, science specific, which have been like new modules that I've never done before. So it's kind of, okay, let's see how it goes. Let's see, it can be almost like a laboratory. You don't know what is the end up result, but you are, okay, let's go with it. Let's see what's happening while it's happening. So with science specific, we did like a lot of classes within the school, but a lot of classes, actually the majority of classes were outside of the school. So because we had to do like a final project at the end of the module, and we had to do like a creative science specific piece in a different context. You have to have an audience and see how they will react, what it will happen if they cross the street, how they will perceive the things. So yeah, definitely. And you have to put yourself in the audience part as well to understand, okay, what am I trying to say at the end of the day? What am I trying to show to the audience? What do I want to, what do I want to say as an artist at the end? I think this school has given me a lot of tools to start understanding what do I want to show as an artist. I know that I'm really interested in performance, I'm really interested in visual arts and different mediums, for example, technology, video, film, screening, those kind of things. I'm really interested in collaborations. I don't know what else I want to say as an artist, because I think also that changes. I don't know, it's a personal thing as well. Sometimes you're really interested into, like, I don't know, musicality, and sometimes you're really interested in gender, and sometimes you're really interested in politics and you want to say something about, but really depends, yeah. So yeah, I think the school has a negotiation between what is new, what is contemporary, and what is something that was contemporary in one point. So at the end, what is contemporary dance? Where I think this school has this question all the time. What is contemporary dance? What do we want to show? What do we want to teach? And I think the most interesting part of training is learning, which is an ongoing process. Even though you finish the school, you're still learning, you're still a student. And most of the teachers say that.